Welcome to this module of the Simulation Video Lab series. In this lab, we're going to talk about Simio animation features and also related tables and using external data sources. As for the objectives for this lab, we are going to discuss some of the basic but useful Simio animation features, namely static and animated symbols. Um, we'll talk about how we can download and import symbols in Simio. Um, we also show how we can animate a queue or a processing station of a server using alignment. Uh, and also we will talk about some of the dynamic plots that we can use uh, to to better understand the behavior of our model as the model is running. We will also introduce related tables and Simio tables, and we will specifically talk about data tables, sequence tables, rate tables, work schedules, and arrival tables. And finally, we will talk about binding our tables to external data sources. So we are going to use a couple of different models to talk about these topics. And the first model that I would like to use in this lab is in fact the very first model that we developed in Simio in the first module of this simulation lab series, which is the model of a hot dog stand, a single server model. And hopefully you guys remember this model. We have a hot dog stand, customers arrive, we have a single server which represents our hot dog stand, and we use path objects so that we can actually see the entities flow in the system. So let me slow down the speed factor to 1 so we can better see the entities walk on the paths. And what we did in this model is that we defined um, a list of symbols for our model entity. So for my customer entity, I have a list of 4 different symbols. So 2 symbols, 2 woman symbols and 2 man symbols. And what I did was tell my model to basically use a random symbol when an entity is created. So by setting the random symbol property to true, I basically, when I run the model, I basically see different symbols for my entities. So let me speed up a little bit. So as you can see, um, when entities are created, I'm randomly selecting from the symbol list to represent the entity. In the previous labs, we have also talked about how we can change the symbol of the model entity as the model is running by using state assignments or add-on processes by changing the ModelEntity.Picture state variable. So before we continue talking about other animation features that are available to us through Simio, I would like to press uh, the H key on my keyboard and basically go through the list of items in this help menu that appears on the screen. So as we all know, we can switch back and forth between the 2D and 3D mode by pressing 2 and 3 on our keyboard. We know we can left click and drag to basically move around our model. And also if we scroll the mouse wheel up and down, we basically zoom out and zoom in, both in the 3D mode and in the 2D mode. In the 3D mode, if you right click and drag, then you will be able to rotate and see your model from different angles. We know we can move an object by right by doing a left click and basically dragging, we can move an object in the 2D mode. And if we would like to uh, move an object in the Y direction, then we need to hold down the Shift button and left click and then move up and down. So now you can see uh, I'm moving my sync object uh, in the Y dimension. You can resize or change the size of an object by selecting one of its handles and dragging. So left click and drag. And you can also rotate an object if you hold down the control key while dragging its handles. So now as you can see, I can rotate my sync object. Also recall that we can change the color of one of our symbols in the symbol list. So let me go back to the 2D mode, zoom out a little bit. Press H to get rid of the help menu. So let's say I would like to change the color of one of my symbols. So I can go ahead and select my symbol. Let me select one of these dark colors. And I can basically change the color by simply choosing a color and clicking um, on the model entity. So now I have changed the color of my fourth uh, symbol in my symbol list. Not only we can change the color of our symbol, we can also change the animation of our model entities. So in this model, let me go ahead and reduce the speed to zero point 0.2. Let me run the model. So as you can see in this model, our entities uh, actually walk on the path to get to the server object. We can change this animation by changing the ModelEntity.Animation uh, state variable. So if I basically click on my model entity and go to its definitions and states, you will see that we have the model entity picture, which we have already seen before, but we also have the animation state variable uh, that we can change. So if I go back to the model and right click on my model entity and go to list animations of active symbol, you can see that there are different animations that are available for this symbol. So right now what I'm using is the walk animation feature. I can also use run, jump, and you can see a list of all of the animations that we can use. So let me go ahead and change one of these. So what I would like to do is to have my entities run from the source to the server when uh, they're going through this path. So what I'm going to do is to go to my model entity and change the initial value of my animation to 1. That is basically uh, the second uh, item in my animation list, since we start at an index of 0. So now when I run the model, you will see that my entities run from the source object to the server object. Now suppose I would like to change the animation after the entity leaves the server object. So instead of having the entities run, uh, let's say we want to use another animation. What we can do is basically the same procedure that we use to change symbols. So I'm going to select my server object and go to State Assignments, and before exiting the server, I would like to make an assignment. And specifically, I would like to change Model Entity Animation, which I can select from the drop-down list of this different states in my model, Model Entity.Animation, And this time that I'm making the assignment in the model, instead of using the index value or index number, I need to use the string value. So I just type walk. So I'm using the string value here. So now when I run the model entities appear to be running on the first path, but they walk on the second path and leave the system. Now that we have learned how to change the look of model entity and its animation, let's talk about how we can change the animation of our other objects. And specifically, let's suppose that we have a serpentine cue for our hot dog stand instead of this straight line. So in order to make this a serpentine line, we select the input buffer and we go to the alignment under the appearance tab, and we can select the point oriented alignment. And now we can see that I can tell Simio exactly where I want to place my entities in the queue. So I can make this a serpentine queue by adding more vertices to it. So let's add another vertex. And then let's add another one here. Let's add another one here. Add another one here. And so on. So we can make a serpentine queue so that the entities will be placed in these points that we specify. So in order to see this, let me actually decrease my inter-arrival time by dividing it by 3, so that entities arrive 3 times faster now. And let me also increase the speed factor to 10. So now I run the model, and you will see that my entities will be placed on the points that I specified in my queue. And of course the queue will get longer than this, but we simply can't see the entities that are waiting in the queue. So the other thing that we can do is in order to change the orientation of entities. So as you can see right now, all of my entities will be facing the same direction when they're waiting in the queue. I can change the individual directions by selecting my queue and going to the appearance ribbon, and this time oriented point. So now I can change individual the orientation of individual points in my queue however I desire. So now when I run the model, you can see the entities wait in the queue. If I go to the 3D mode, you will see this better in different orientations that I just specified. Let me also do a quick recap on downloading or importing symbols from Google 3D Warehouse. For those of you who cannot recall how we imported this hot dog stand symbol for our server object. So what I'm going to do is to import a symbol for my model entity. So I'm going to delete my model entity and drag a new model entity instance and call it hot dog. So what I would like to have is basically a hot dog symbol for my model entity. So I'm just going to select my model entity, go to download symbol, and Simio opens up this window that gets me to the Google 3D Warehouse, and I can search for my symbol, hot dog, search, and I can choose any of the 3D models that have been developed. I'm going to select this one. It has ketchup and mustard on it. Looks good. So download, and here Simio tells you or gives you an idea of how large the symbol is and its orientation. So compared to human, you see it's a huge hot dog. So I'm going to change its size to 0.15 meters, which is about 6 inches. And I'll leave the original orientation, say OK. So now you can see that my model entity symbol has changed to a hot dog symbol. And also I will see this error because I need to tell my source that I do not have the customer entities anymore. I have hot dogs. Here we go. So the error is gone. So now when I run the model, you will see that I have hot dogs flowing in the model. And what I would like to do here is to change the look of my server object so that when a hot dog is being processed, it actually appears on the grill right here. So what I need to do is to move the processing station of my hot dog stand of my server. So I first do it in the 3D mode, 2D mode, sorry. Then I switch back to the 3D mode, hold down Shift, and then I can move my processing station in the Y direction. So I can adjust its size. And now when I run the model, the hot dogs appear to be on the grill. The next thing I'm going to do is changing the look of my processing station the same way that we change the look of our input buffer. So I'm just going to use a point oriented cue, so you can have different I don't want to move it, I just want to change this point and bring it here. Let me add another one right here. So let me also go ahead and change the capacity of my server to 4, so we actually see 4 hot dogs on the grill. Now when I run the model, you will see that my hot dogs appear to be on the grill, and I can rotate so that we'll see uh, our animation in different angles. Since we do not have time to talk about all of the animation features, I would like to introduce some additional resources that you can use to learn more about animation. Specifically, there is a video module on Simio animation developed by Dr. Jeffrey Smith. You can see the link to the video module here. And specifically in the video module, you will learn how to draw objects on your model. For example, you can draw walls in your simulation models. You will also learn how to create new symbols, both using Simio and SketchUp. And you will also learn different shop floor animation features by importing pictures or adding floor labels and texts to your shop floor. There is also the Simio textbook, Simio and Simulation Modeling Analysis Applications. There is a whole chapter that talks about different animation features, and there are 2 models that I would like to talk about in particular. So let's take a look at these 2 models real quick. So here is the 2D view of the printed circuit board model, and if I go to the 3D view, you will see that we have changed the symbols of our placement, basically our servers, you see our fine pitch servers here and their symbols. So if you run the model, you will see that we have conveyors and printed boards, circuit boards flow on the conveyors, and they appear to be processed on the machines and also on the inspection. And you can see the queues and processing stations that are basically moved so that the entities appear to be on top of the inspection table. You can also see that we have drawn walls around our facility, and we have changed its texture, and also we have changed the look of the shop floor. So that's the printed circuit board model. There is also the hospital model with staff. So basically we have aides and nurses that escort the different types of patients that we have in the model uh, to different locations in the system, to different servers, which are exam rooms, treatment rooms, and trauma rooms. So you can see the nurses or aides move to the location where the entities are waiting to be escorted to their destination. And as you can see, if I go to the 3D mode, there is animation features for our server objects, and you can see that they're placed in the entities are placed in specific locations so that it appears to be a like an actual exam room. There is also another model, a pizza takeout model, in chapter 9 of the textbook, where you will see different animation features, such as labels that you can see. We have tags for our customers and pizzas. So we have order number and the number of pizzas that the customer orders. So customers arrive, the customer waits at the counter, the pizzas go to the kitchen, and if I go to the 3D mode and rotate, you will see that the pizzas appear on different servers, like for example the oven. And also, if I set a breakpoint here, you will see that when customers leave the system, they actually leave with their pizzas. Finally, there is Simio help on animation and moving objects. So if I go to my model and go to support and help, and if I search for animation, then you will see different help topics about animating moving objects, walking people, how to create and edit symbols, and so on.